even when I'm late, Lone is motherfucking here so on time. And now I just made this video demonetized because I swore. God damn it. God damn it. I gotta remember to shut up in the first couple seconds. Ah, well, so much for that. This can go here. Beautiful. Lovely. That's going, that's going. Ladies and gentlemen, we have so much to talk about. I have so many things to ramble at you guys about. It's crazy. Usually it's not this stacked, all right? But it is today. And I have to once again do our weird go live and then run to the set. Also, I should turn this on. There we go. And go. Totally natural. totally not weird as hell. But ladies and gentlemen, how are you this fine? Wait, everything's all wrong. Wait, did I also loop this? I did not. Okay. Also, am I the only one who, when we're watching this little guy right here, you're kind of like, wow, this was made by the guy who made Bayonetta, right? No, it's just an Asian person that loves latex. Okay. Oh no. I gotta fix this, or else I'm gonna go to shit. Why are you fighting me? And now you're having an issue. Can this work? Good enough. As a quick band-aid solution, I will fix severely your problem. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Sorry, it's bright. Yeah, it's a little bit bright. That's because I was fiddling with it. Oh no. It's falling off again. Okay, isn't that bright? We're good? Are we good? Sorry. Eek, I forgot to mute my PC. Why did that get unmuted? I'm sorry, guys. And it's delayed by 5 seconds, so I just gotta watch you in shame go, ah, my ears. That's my bad. I don't know. It's not a, yeah. It's basically, I have my PC, so it's capturing my PC music. But then I also have my normal PC that like you guys are running on. So I got two PCs, so it's capturing the window of my other PC, and in order for me to hear the audio, the music, just so I'm not sitting here talking in silence, I have to play it on both of my PCs. But in order for me to hear it from my other one, I have to turn up a good bit. But in order to do that, I need to mute my number 2 PC so you guys don't hear anything, essentially. Anyways. My joke about this was, man, do Japanese people love latex a lot, a lot. A part of me feels kind of uncomfortable in watching this. It feels so high quality, and yet it seems, I don't know, like sometimes there's outfits that just seem way more skimpy, despite them having like net positive clothes. You know what I mean? Like just a gargantuan amount of cloth, but just enough to be like, wow, this seems like a lot. It seems like too much. But I don't know, this game, I'm not sure if it's made by the people who made Bayonetta, but it very much feels like it, except instead of it taking 1,000,000 years to come out, maybe it'll come out on time. It's not really the problem. The problem is that the Bayonettas are made for fucking a toaster, okay? The Nintendo Switch, and this is at least made for good old PlayStation, at least. But ladies and gentlemen, we have so much to talk about. We have, let's see, we have, before Lone's comment gets eaten. To be fair, we didn't have a Hangout stream last week like normal, so got some things to talk to you about. I got so much to talk about as well, but we also got hit with like 3 things popping off today, or this week. We got the game showcase, the what was it, a PlayStation State of Play, which I finally got enough time to like skim by and watch. I think I watched all of it. I think I did. I will say, I did say, I'm getting excited because Fluff was telling me some of these VR games that were coming out. I am excited, but they're not exclusives, which is nice. But one of them already came out. And the first one has a lot of weirdness associated to it, at least for me, because there was a mod very similar to Metro, for those who don't know. For those guys who do not know, there is in the works right now a Metro-style VR game. If not like it's not by Metro-style, I mean like legitimately like Metro, apocalyptic Metro, not like fucking side-scroller saying whatever. Yeah. That is actually being developed, but there was a mod that was developed for the same like kind of Russian sewer system apocalypse type of vibe, and unfortunately they canceled that person. Like they went after the modder who was making this standalone game, and it was so much similar to, of course, Metro, which was the whole point. That they ended up taking his mod down, and I just felt like it was shitty because it was, yeah, it makes sense now that you see like Metro VR is coming, and it's exciting. Who doesn't want to play that? It sounds scary also, so maybe it's me who doesn't want to play that. But anyways, the other VR game was basically one that was it's already on PC. It has been there for a while, but yes, it's also notorious for being like one of the better RPG VR games, just because there's no RPG VR games essentially, and that's like the most devoured type of game on VR. But anyway, Lone says we good. We good. Also, my ears. Sorry, Lone. I know that's why. Like to me, I'm like, and I try not to like because it will bother me because I'm like, oh man. Like I can spiral basically. I can be like, oh man, people came and said hi, and then I just greeted them with screaming shit in their ears, and then it's just, oh, I'm so bad at this. God, why do I do this? And then I'll just spiral into like fucking self-loathing essentially, and like just like, oh, yeah. So then I just gotta kind of move on, like force myself to be like, just that sucks, moving on, sucks, moving on, or else I'll just devour myself in a very cannibalistic way. But we have so much stuff to talk about. Lone, try not to let me forget any of these things, okay? We have to talk about State of Play. We have to talk about Palworld. We have to talk about what was the other one that was big? Shit, shit! I knew this would happen. It could be worse. It could be worse, Chris. But doesn't stop me from like being like, hey, having that like hyper. I'm not even sure if it's critical. It's more like a hyper frustration almost, like a frustration with like, I'm better than this. I mean, but yeah, everyone makes a mistake and fucks up, etc. Especially when you got too many things going on. I think if like you only did one thing, like if my only focus was streaming, fucking shit would be locked in. It'd be tight, okay? But when you're doing streaming, 2 channels at this point, because I'm an idiot doing Palworld on my normal channel now again, because I just like it so much, and VR, and you're trying to make them like highly edited, fuck, dude. Also, I'll be saying this throughout the stream, I think we are going to stream at 7 p.m. today. So we're gonna have this stream. This might be a little bit short of a stream, I'm not sure yet, and we'll just play it out however it goes. But then I want to stream again today because I want to get farther into Suicide Squad because I want to keep playing it. I actually was enjoying our time quite a lot, and when we had to stop yesterday, it felt kind of like we were stopping because I kind of had to stop because I had to edit this video, not because I wanted to stop playing and stop hanging out with you guys and talking about shit. So yes. Fluff says a bit late. Was hanging up some hanging up laundry. Man, that's a whole thing, the whole laundry thing. Let's not get into that. Let's not do that. But yes. Also, man, this is also just some side thing that we don't really need to talk about. But holy shit, the whole Genshin space, man. I don't want to say I called it. When I called it way back when, okay? Quick TLDR for anyone who wants to be quickly caught up to this weird conversation. Here we go. essentially, long story short, there's a bunch of shit happening in the Genshin community. Everyone's like shitting on each other. There's like a divide between people who Mihoyo loves and like cherishes and supports, but they never say anything critical about the game, and as such, the game has kind of receded into a weirder place, and so on and so forth. And then there's the other group who's just like, I fucking hate this game. Let me agitate everything possible because I just want to have anything happen. It's almost like the climate change people, like, you know, throwing pudding on a $1 million whatever picture. It's kind of just like, fuck it, just let something happen, whatever. Anyways, point is that I called this a millennia ago. Do you guys remember back in the day when we were playing Genshin? And I said, my argument was for the support of leaks, essentially. The support of the game is so barren and dry that it's fun to see what's along the next horizon. And Mihoyo was starting to kind of crack down in weird ways of like trying to like stop leaks from happening, stopping the community from hearing about like an upcoming character that we can get excited for and pursue. And a lot of people were like, leaks are bullshit, leaks are stupid. And then fast forward a year and they're covering leaks, and they're like really covering leaks. So their whole bullshit was complete farce. Anyways, so I was right about that. And also, as soon as the leaks were like cracked down on, a significant drop in all viewers, because people were aimless and people were moving on to other shit, as makes sense. If you don't have anything that people can like chew on, people will eventually move on, and when they move on, they may not come back. Makes sense. But I said that if you have a community that is basically aimless, like that doesn't have anything to focus and drive towards, people will start to get frustrated, people will start to lose hope in the game, people will start to feel lost and aimless, and then when people do all of those things and feel all of those things, they start eating, buddy. They start eating whatever the fuck moves. Cannibalism starts happening. People start getting so bored that they're like, fuck this thing that used to never bother me, but because I'm so fucking bored and I need to fucking do something, I'm gonna rip and tear everything else around me. And guess what, boys? That happened. The Genshin community is like eating itself, and it's just like, thank God we got out. Thank God we got out. Palworld, please stay good. Please stay cooking, all right? Anyways, Christopher says, Palworld, what Pokemon should have been already, let me see, should have been already such a great game, and it's not even out of the, dude, Christopher, I 100% agree. Is that right, Christopher? Yes, Christopher, holy shit, dude, Palworld to me, like, I think I'm gonna have the best gaming experience I've ever had in the last 5 years. The reason why is because I'm currently playing one of the best games I've ever played. It is, to me, like, I'm not sure if I was just starved for this type of game that has, like, just a fucking disgusting amount of content. And all of it I want to do because there's incentives to do it and it's fun to do it. Ubisoft always has this problem where it's like, here's a bunch of shit to do. And I'm like, I don't want to do any of it. I don't want to do fucking nothing, okay? Power is like, well, you can go capture these pals. There's 100 different types of them, even more than that. Awesome. I'm like, oh, cool, I want some of them. I want to go do that. And then they're like, hey, by the way, you can breed these pals so that you can get endgame pals earlier. Oh, also, you can get hybrid pals that are, like, amazing. You can do that. And I'm like, oh, I want to do that too. Oh, you can also set up a manufacturing base so that you can just swim in resources. And it's all really, really well tuned in terms of giving you resources that you can actually just dump in like 10x your progression. Yeah, I really want to do that too. Also, there are these little nodes around the map that will increase your capture chance for Pokemon. They're not necessarily, you don't have to do it because you can just manufacture better and better Pokeballs, but it's something that would basically help your progression forever. So if you do this little thing, it'll just make the whole game easier. Okay, I wouldn't mind putting on a podcast and doing that as well. And it just keeps going. And again, as soon as they fucking really full send the modding community, like make a creation kit something for it to be easier for them to like manipulate the game, even though it's an Unreal, so theoretically it eventually is going to get some mods, but like, I don't know, I've yet to see an Unreal game get as much mods as like a Fallout. Now, Palworld absolutely should have that happen because it sold a bazillion copies on Steam, on PC of all games. It's like the highest selling game on computers ever. So, not ever, but the point is that it's extremely successful. Anyways, so I have that game come out, and I don't want to jump the gun, but I've really craved a game like Sunset Overdrive for a long, long time. And it's funny, back in the day before live service got so skewed in so many people's minds, I would have loved, I remember there was a time when I wanted every game that I really liked that was kind of niche to be a live service game, because there's just no game like it. What do you call it? Sunset Overdrive was very much like that for me. And the fact that I'm kind of getting that, maybe, again, live service can always derange into just like 1,000 skins and then like maybe one character every 6 months, which is not content, you know? But needless to say, I think I'm eating good. I'm eating real good. I got my like goofy fun looter shooter, which I always love. I love like the legendary grind. And then I have Palworld, which is like the exact inverse. And we have like the live service support with the Suicide Squad, and then we also have the like not live service at all, and kind of like live service without the baggage, early access. But no, I'm with you, Christopher. I am so into Palworld. In fact, there's a video coming out today on this channel, the GRINN channel on YouTube, that I have to make a thumbnail for. But I'm happy about it. It is basically a video about how to level up both early game and late game. I had questions basically about like how to level up early game and how to become more efficient. And no guide really talked about it. Like people kind of say like, oh, just get Vixies and you'll have unlimited Pokeballs. And that's great, but what they don't tell you is like, oh, by the way, you're gonna instantly kill everything that you go try to capture at low levels, so you're kind of gonna be screwed. Or you're gonna have to get off, you're gonna basically have to poke something to death with a shitty spear to weaken them enough. By the way, they're still gonna be able to do damage to you, so they're gonna be breaking your armor. Sorry, I hit the mic. They're gonna be breaking your armor and making things harder for you, rather than saying like, hey, by the way, you need to get a mount because it'll just make things a lot easier. Getting a bat makes things easier. All those things. That's kind of the video I wanted that no one else really did, which was annoying because people just talked about like everything. Like every guide's the same. But I wanted someone who genuinely told me as like a new player, what exactly do I need to do to solve the problems that I will eventually encounter. And I think I did that. The issue that I have is standing out. Because my videos tend to be a little bit longer because I go through that effort of being like, okay, you might have this problem, let's solve it ahead of time. Then my videos are a little bit longer, and therefore people might click off, therefore the engagement may be a little bit lower than everyone else's, and everyone else goes up. The good news is that whenever somebody sees our guide, they're usually like, I'm in. I'm gonna follow you. So we gain like a really loyal, locked-in group of people who trust me a little bit to actually solve some problems, even though I'm not the person for the job, but I do my best. Also, Fluff, you had me shit myself, Fluff. Jesus Christ. Also, I'm into this game. This game looks neat. It's hilarious that it's called Judas, because it just something about a name Judas is just fucking hilarious to me. It just seems like that's a lot of baggage, isn't it? Anyways. What I was gonna say was, yeah, what do you call it? Fluff message sent me a video on Discord about like talking about how Dig Toys is like the worst person to farm or grind your base, and you've been telling me that for a while. But then I'm making this video, and how you basically farm experience for early or for late game is essentially you need to get into manufacturing. You need to get into like iron and coal production, and as soon as you do that, it's super easy. You can make like a red Pokeball for pretty cheap, and then just fully send the rest of the shit. It's great. This game looks neat. Anyways, I think also I just crave a Bioshock. It's been a while till we've had some cool, mutated hands, and far too introspective storytelling and all that. Anyways, point is, ew. Also, I love how they're showing you that like your hands are still gonna get all fucking gross and like deconstructed. Anyways. What I was saying was, Fluff sent me this video, and in the video of them talking about how Dig Toys isn't actually very good for farming. The person also says like, and here are all of my like actually tried and tested the best for grinding minerals and rock. Here's that. Here are those Pokemon. And I was like, fuck. I should have seen this before I made my video because that's something I talk about. And I fucking nailed it. My intuition's on lock, boys. The person I said that you should get is, of course, Anubis. But some people, I think, are going to be scared of breeding, because I'm like, I don't want to jump into this. I just want to set my base. Do I really have to, like, figure out all the, like, make cake? It's annoying to have to get, like, bees, all that stuff. So the second thing I told people to get was basically the bat, the bat pal, like the bat Pokemon that has sonar. yeah, turns out he's great. He's really great. He also transports, which is sick. And yeah, it was just like one of those things where I was like, oh, thank God, the person who I suggested wasn't the fucking lowest on that Word doc. And I was like, my video is still okay. God, I don't have to edit this shit out. Oh, anyways, yes, happy day. The Genshin community is boycotting the game. Dude, yeah, it's like there's a mixture of like there's shitty rewards, which I don't even know, man. Like if I was in the community, I do find it kind of hilarious. It's like the MTash response, which is him just, even if you hate MTash, it's such a, because he is a dad, so you know that. He's like, I'm trying my kid to hockey. He's also a fellow Canadian, so I'm a little bit biased. Gotta support our boys. But anyways, he said this, he had this one line where he's just like, Dad's pissed, stop fighting, basically. And he looks like the most weirdo student teacher you've ever seen. But it's such a funny line he has in one of his videos. And yeah, some modders are also working on animated mods for the breeding. Let that sink in a lot. I'm down. Ew, I'm not. I'm not. That seems excessive, but it could be a fun, goofy reaction video of being like, I downloaded these mods. Oh God, no. Trying to cater to today low attention span society sounds like a massive headache. Well, yeah, I also think that it's like, yeah, I feel like a lot of it is people just bored out of their mind, you know. Lone says the Palworld videos from what I've seen have been doing good. Yeah, one of them popped off like wild. The other one that I thought was much better than the second one I made did not as well, which is unfortunate. The video I had like a cool, I really nailed the I hate to be so like talking like this, but I think I did a good job on the first video we did about like there's a song that I put in the background, which is this very like jazzy ba 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 da ba ba da ba da, and I like my voice was at the same pace as the song. So if I was watching that video, I'd be like, oh yeah, check that off the list. But it's not a very sexy topic that most people are gonna search. It's like how to get organs. If anything, people are gonna type in how to farm or something like that, you know, in Palworld. Chris says PvP is gonna go off on Palworld. Well, I do have confidence a little bit in them where I wouldn't other developers, because there's something really special, I think, when somebody says, like, do you want to be king of the castle? And the person says, hell no, that's exhausting. Like that, that's such a hard job to do. Absolutely not. And then the most idiotic, power-hungry person is like, I'll do it. I know nothing, but I'll do it immediately. And you're like, we're fucked. Absolutely fucked. And the reason why that the Palworld devs did a similar thing is they talked about how almost impossible it's going to be to have an actually successful PvP game nowadays. Like there's so much competition with Apex, with Fortnite, with the finals and such, and like League and all these games. It's so hard to actually have like a satisfying and addictive multiplayer experience, which I get. I think multiplayer in general, it's meant to be kind of repetitive. Like it gets repetitive faster. Combat, thank you, Chris. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Gonna be so good. Yeah. Also 20 or 19. In Tombat ends up being level, I think it's like 12, I think. And the thing that's crazy about Tombat is Tombat also has transport, whereas the other person only has the one thing, which is good. It's nice to have someone who only mines, but it's also nice, like, that's why Anubis is so great, is because he'll break down rock, and when there's too much to transport, he'll say, fuck it, I'm gonna stop breaking down rock and transport, which to me I'd rather have, you know? Granted, I don't really know how transport works in the game though. Like if a character has like a really high amount of transport, do they like just collect 7 items and then go to their base? Or is it like they carry one set of an item? Because it looks like they just have like a stack of one set of an item on their shoulder and then they go, you know? Red says PvP had been entirely separated and opt-in only. I want to avoid PvP at all costs. Yeah. No, I do think that the way they described it is they want to make it so that there's a reason to do PvP, but not like it's funny. There was a whole news article about the devs talking about this. Also, I'm sorry I lost your comment, Fluff. Yeah, Dig Toys is terrible at working at your base. Yes. Christopher says G-Red. I don't agree. PvP should be optional as with PAL arenas. Oh yeah, it should be. Yeah. It's funny. I seen this. this deep dive into Palworld stuff, and the devs have already talked about how they're like, we don't want, like, they're basically trying to, like, again, they're talking about, like, I love this, they're talking about the genuine problems that they're having to face, which is, one of them is they want to basically make a really competent, like, PvP thing, but they don't want to force people to play it, but they also want to make it so that there's some incentive to play it, or else there's no reason to. So to me, I think it'd be nice if they kind of ran that, like, maybe they put like 2 or 3 cosmetics in the PvP thing. I don't want to have to grind a fucking 1,000 hours to get them, but if I had to play like 3 or 4 games every couple months when they add new stuff to the PvP lineup, then that'd be kind of cool, because at least then you can keep checking in to see if you're not a big fan of this type of thing, because maybe you unlock like a super cracked Pokemon, and you're like, let me see how this thing fights, and then you go and fight, and you're like, okay, now PvP is feeling good because I'm not just like neutered, you know? So I do think it's okay to put some shit there, but you don't ever want to have to grind like 10 hours of something that you don't like in order to get the item that you think is neat. But if it's just at the very top end where you get all the stuff that you kind of want, that I think is okay. I think it's also okay to do a nudge, yeah. Red says, well, I'm a Ferg. You know, Red, you never confirmed it with me, I don't think, but I've always kind of assumed that there's something there over the years, and especially with Power, there's been comments, and I'm like, I don't want to throw this on my man, but I'm getting the same vibe I get from you, Anthony, and Fluff. Okay. Is it Chris? Chris is over here, or Tessa is over here. It says, weird. Twitch is down for me. I had to come over to YouTube. Yeah, man, it's weird. YouTube is like, ever since there's been like this multi-streaming thing where you can now stream on multiple platforms, it's great. It's shocking that so many people prefer YouTube, which is hilarious. Not really. YouTube's just stable, especially when you know what to do. Like, I was dumb for a while there, and Red helped me kind of parse through how to set up a stream that isn't like gross bitrate-y nonsense. It looks blurry, essentially. So he helped me fix that up. And now it's like, it just makes sense. You can go backwards in time, you can go forwards in time, all that stuff. But I just wish YouTube would like add better gamification to the streaming stuff. Like, I miss our stupid dumb challenges buttons, basically. What is it called? We haven't used them in such a long time. Redeems, basically. I would love for someone to have like channel points for you watching a channel, and then be able to be like, bang, do push-ups, bang, activate sparkly lights. But I don't really want to invest in any of that stuff because we don't have it on YouTube. But then again, there is this like, I don't know what it is, man, but it's this like ironclad, constantly reinforced thing that I've seen constantly on YouTube versus Twitch, and that is how, I don't mean to be weird about this, but like, it is extremely like shocking how much people are willing to like donate on Twitch versus people who are not even, like in the entire lifespan of us doing all of this, me streaming I think 3 times a week, I ended up basically making the same amount of money that I made for having like 8 years of YouTube content on my channel, just because a few people were like, yeah, I'll subscribe to you, yeah, I'll throw you like some bits and etc. And it was like for a year straight when we were streaming a lot on Twitch and whatnot. It wasn't still like an exorbitant amount of money. It was about like $200 a month or whatever, but it was still like, yeah, it's just crazy the difference, basically. How like, I think on Twitch it's a part of the community and things are already locked in place where you can just be like, hey, here's $1, here's the thing, you know. And on YouTube it's more like, I think people are just not used to paying for anything on YouTube, which is why like the people had a big uproar about the whole YouTube ad thing happening a little while ago. I think it's the hydrate loan. I'll hydrate with some tea. Red says massive buffering on Twitch. Well, my biggest issue with Twitch that I really dislike is like the partner stuff, which is a little bit like inside baseball stuff, but it just seems so annoying. Like, it doesn't make sense. There's no like route that you can grow. As much as I'm frustrated with YouTube at times, at least YouTube is like, you need to hit this goal point, and then you are almost for sure going to be able to get monetized. At least there's that. The other thing I hate about Twitch is the ads. I really dislike, like, I hate when I go to see like a stream, which a stream is like the most, things are happening right now, and if you're missing it, you're losing it, you know? And the fact that you join a thing and you get an ad, I think YouTube, at least you can set it for right now, you can basically set it so that there's no like, you can skip this ad in 5 seconds. But Twitch doesn't even do that. Twitch is like, you have to watch a fucking 25-second ad before you can see this. And you see the chat going by and they're fucking reacting to something, you're like, I hate it! I hate it so much! What is your problem? And all that. Also, this is kind of some big news, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, this is kind of, yeah. On our Mind Palace of Madness channel, our VR hyper niche channel, we just got to the capstone point of being able to get subscriptions, or memberships, essentially, where we had to do this weird convoluted thing where I was telling people to go subscribe on our GRINN channel, this channel, which is weird. But yes, now we have memberships. That's cool. We need to get to 1,000 subs in order to be able to get monetization, which is so annoying because I've had like enough watch time. I'm great with watch time. I can lull you into a sense of like time speeding up and you losing time, etc. real easily. But the issue is that we cover so many different things that no one is like, yeah, like it's crazy, but we've had more subscriber growth within the 4 videos of Palworld that I made, because I keep saying at the end of every video, I'm gonna play the shit out of this game and I'm gonna talk about it a lot. So like, yeah, I'm enjoying this game. You're gonna make more of that thing I'm enjoying. Awesome. With VR, it's like you just made a video about you tripping balls and going into hell and like just doing even more drugs in hell, and then somehow coming out of a vent, and then having this weird relationship with someone named John or something. Yeah, or Joe, whatever it was. Yeah, it's a lot. That's hard to bite onto. You know, I get it. Nub says the problem is that YouTube allows playback instantly, while you have to go through menus to get it on Twitch. What's that mean, playback? What does that mean, Nub? YouTube allows playback instantly. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Try refreshing because it's not buffering for they need transmog for cosmetics to work well. Yeah, I do think that's the one thing that could be improved, is like the accessories, I believe, are in the same place as some of the cosmetics, and you're kind of like, well, what the heck? I don't want that. Christopher says, also, not a fan of yeah, I'm not a fan of Twitch, yeah. Red says, yeah, it's, no, Raid says, what's good, Raid? Raid says, yeah, I too am not a big fan. Everyone's like, yeah, Twitch is not great. But again, people who watch on Twitch are like, yeah, just way more into the whole, like, what essentially they like, because for a while there, Twitch did not have, or streaming wasn't really like monetarily safe or whatever. Like you couldn't like monetize your streams in a weird way, which seems easy to do. A little pop-up bullshit thing comes on screen, then goes away. Not like dominates the entire screen, but like a little dumb ad. And yeah, people say that like, oh, but then like whatever you're doing on stream is reflective of the ad that's showing. And I'm like, dude, people are fucking morons. They know that like if a fucking Tide commercial came, or a Tide ad popped up when I'm making an uncomfortable joke or something, that doesn't mean Tide is like, yeah, we love that. It's a fucking system. Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. Red says, I was not talking about Twitch. Yeah, just talking about the buffering thing on Twitch. Oh, I see. You're opposite. You were saying that there's buffering on my. Oh no. As I was complimenting you, helping me get everything situated. Well, fuck. Also, my ad block does not work on Twitch. It works on YouTube. Yeah. Which what do you call it? Well, I have 2 ad blocks, and both of them seem to. I'm not sure what Twitch is doing, but they really found a way to make it so the ads get through, which is shitty. I don't think both of mine work either. Although I have YouTube whitelisted because I have YouTube Premium, whatever it's called. It's one of the few like special weird things I have that's like a monthly redigesting thing, because I just hate monthly shit. It drives me nuts. Oh, I got a bubble in my chest. Nub says, while you have to go through menus to get to it on Twitch, playback as in rewinding the stream to look at things you missed. Oh, really? I thought it's by like me. Like I have the choice to enable playback, and I think I also have the place to enable chat embedding, which I don't know why, but I have not seen chat embedding yet. I really used to like it, and now I'm not sure why, but it sometimes doesn't show up. Like you used to always be able to see like a clone of what happened on the stream in the chat, essentially. But now I find you can't. Like, it's not there. I'm not sure if they just take it off so that like it's not embedded. But I think even if I go to some of my last streams, I'm not sure if like I have to hit a button to pull up the old archived Twitch chat essentially. But yes. Nub says you need Twitch to a specific ad block for that to work. Really? That's crazy. The Twitch is that wild. What's good, Mick? Mick says, hey, what's good, Mick? How are you? Mick crazy. Oh man, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. What game are you enjoying, Mick? Yes, Twitch ads suck. Also that. Death Stranding looks very fascinating. Dude, Death Stranding, this one I might be able to get behind. Because it seems like it's finally Kojima being like, okay, so I really love Amazon, okay, but it's time for us to get into like Metal Gear. And that seems lit. Okay, that seems rad. Where this dude's rocking a punk rocker face, and then like this weird southern draw accent, and then also this weird guitar, and then there's that thing. Now we're getting into like the demonic monsters inside of Kojima's mind, which seems a little more interesting, essentially. Okay, Christopher says, the only other game I care to try out right now is the Dragon Ball game and the Dungeons & Dragons 2. Yeah, oh no, Dragon's Dogma 2. Yeah. Dragon's Dogma I think is like everyone's #1 for this year. The only thing I don't know what to feel about it. I hope it's not depressing as hell. Maybe we'll have too much like feel good. I don't know. Palworld's not necessarily feel good, but it's less dark and gross, you know. Like I would love a game that's like a, how do I put it, like Dragon's Dogma with the crazy intricate gameplay design and the fantasy setting, but not like you're almost for sure gonna die at the end, and it's gonna be sad, and we're gonna have characters that we're gonna specifically make you fall in love with and then rip them apart in front of you, and that's the stuff that we're doing in between. And you're like, why did you put so cool of things behind a dark and depressing gross story? Was it Jiri? That's not right. Dark and dreary. There we go. I'm not even saying that right. I'm enunciating too many syllables. Lone says, also, Grin, I still have those Nikitas I want to. You better show me very much a day. We'll make sure you hold me accountable. This is weird. The glove thing, very odd. Also, faces still looks like some uncanny weirdness. Okay, remind me to talk about the Apple Vision Pro. I'm not going to throw at you guys right now, but I have to talk about it. It's too weird, too neat, too... and also, so yeah. Nub says, yeah, on Twitch as a streamer, you also have to enable it, which is another reason I didn't even know you had the option on Twitch to have playback. That's wild. McCrazy says, I'm good, man. How are you? I'm doing pretty good, Mick. I'm having the best time in gaming that I've had in a couple years because Palworld, and yeah, it's been great. And I'm not sure yet. You're not sure what kind of game you jump into yet? You're just kind of playing it by ear? That's smart. Also, Christopher says the only other game... Oh, right, the Dragon's Dogma. For the one, I remember the first video I watched of yours. It was a Let It Die video. That's another one of those ones where, like... I think the Let It Die one, I think the reason why people like that is because I was the only one there. Like, as much as I want to be like... I was doing an okay job about, like, accounting for the problems that people were eventually going to face. I think Let It Die is such a unique game that people want to keep playing it, but yet no one, no one was making videos for it except one psycho, just screaming about how U10 sucks ass or something, all that. I also was pretty toxic, which I think helps. I think if you're like overly positive in the community, it can make things kind of feel like you're not like letting the frustration that is boiling within the other players release. Which is why it's kind of difficult, because a lot of people in certain gaming spaces are overly critical, and I'm sure as a game designer it's probably hard to hear that, but at the same time it's kind of nice because it helps release some of that tension that people are feeling, so they don't just feel like, this thing sucks, why is no one talking about it, you know? Oh, my body is sore. I did arms yesterday and I did the eccentric movement slower and my fucking biceps feel like they're tearing apart. I refuse to get YouTube Prime so long as ad block still works. Again, I may be going for a while, so you should be good. I'll always be someone who's mad enough to be like, no, I will not. Red says, Hugs looks Like the Crow, I like it. Oh yeah, the band person, yeah. Lone says, "Oh, will this game be more than just a wandering delivery simulator?" I think so. I do have the ambition at one point to go back and watch Death Stranding because it does look like a fun movie or a TV series. But I kind of just want Hideo Kojima just to make a fucking TV show at this point, you know? Like, because I don't know how much of the gamification of Death Stranding was like really like satisfying in the same way that like Palworld gameplay is satisfying. Like if I was watching somebody catch fucking Pokemon, I'd be like, eh. I mean, yes, it's like when it's surrounded by like childhood wonder with like Ash Ketchum, maybe. But like if it was, yeah, I don't think it would translate as well to like a movie, so to speak. It has to become something different in order for it to translate to a movie. But what do you call it? Death Stranding, I would actually think I'd just have more fun watching it than playing it. Oh, will the game be more than that? Red says, speaking of Suicide Squad, on the one hand, I want to play it with y'all. On the other hand, I'm struggling with the moral compass to not support the game aspect to be, but it looks fun though. Yeah, it's tough. Red, to me, the hardest thing, Red, is the fact that it costs what it does. For me, now I think you're in the US, so I don't think it's going to be as much of a punch in the chest, but it does cost a decent amount. For me, it costs $90, almost $100 each. But for you, it's going to cost $70, I believe, which is still enough. It's still enough money to be like, God damn it, all right? But I will say, it is, like, this is all I'll say about this, because I do think I get what people are feeling. Like, it's not that I don't understand that, like, people are so sick of live service, things look, the scumbags, all that shit, I get it. But it is really, really unfortunate when you have a developer who has made 4 games that were unequivocally the highest level of quality. Even if you weren't into the games, they kept pushing the boundary. You got a fuck ton of campaigns, even more side quests, and an amazing open world, innovative gameplay every time where they added new elements that made it feel fresh and new. For 3 to 4 games of that is what the developer of Suicide Squad did. And then for them, before live service was a scumbag, rat hell bullshit that it was now, that it is today, before that, 3 or 4 years ago, they were like, this is something that we want to do. It also makes sense for us because we would love to have like a game that we could continue to iterate upon because we want, because that would not only be financially good for us because we could have a game that we could actually like support other developers doing stuff if this game did really well. It sucks that the fever, like the tension building over the years of people having such a distrust for live service, battle passes, and the whole shebang has fallen on the developer that, to me, had already earned themselves a live service game. Like, I think a developer, if they're out there outputting a shit ton of like amazing experiences that are exactly tuned to your liking, I feel like they deserve like, but this could be not only like our version of it that could be good, but also could be, what do you call it? Could be something that like could financially support us to pursue other games. You know what I mean? Red says currently Rocksteady is not the same Rocksteady that made the Arkham games. All the talent people left the company. Clearly not, though, Red. Clearly not, because the game is still fire. Well, I shouldn't say that. I haven't played enough of Suicide Squad yet, but to me, within 2 seconds of playing it, Red, I feel like, yeah, this is Rocksteady. Like, the movement is perfectly tuned. The combat and the gameplay feel fun. The banter does not feel exhaustive, even though it should, because we're just beaten over the head with like witty banter from charming characters at this point, with the Marvel series just beating people to death. Even though I like it, I think people will be sick and tired of it. You've seen it in every single show. It becomes this kind of witty banter. Yes. Granted, Rocksteady could, like, maybe Red's right, and like, yes, the gameplay developers who are crafting this experience are still Rocksteady. They're still perfectly optimizing this weird thing. And also, this game's been in development for such a long time. It's not like all the Rocksteady people left immediately. They left after they had an effect on this game. Anyways, I haven't beaten the game. I just played a couple hours of it, and I fucking thought it was wonderful. But what was I going to say? Something about, oh, you could absolutely be right, Red. It could be a piece of shit. Maybe like the team that was making it is still Rocksteady. They still know the Rocksteady charm of like the quality, the polish, the tuning, all that stuff, the new ideas introduced, stuff like that. But maybe the financial, like, corporate people are just going to milk this game dry and then rip it apart and then give it to another person, you know? Christopher says, anyone here play Remnant? Yeah, we love Remnant. Remnant was awesome. everyone heavily enjoyed Remnant, I think. Remnant was a banger of a game. I wish I had more time to play it. It came out at a time where I was trying to do like 5 things at once. But yes. Don't worry yourself, man. Let it die content with thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. Anub says, GRINN, you need to explain it to me how this game is fire, because all I've heard is that it's on fire. Well, let me be honest. I've only played a handful of hours about it. I think we played it for 3 hours. But what I do know is that everything felt fucking awesome. Now, granted, it did crash twice for me. Okay? But that's the thing that's crazy. If a game crashes twice for you and you're still like, dude, the movement felt fucking awesome. I played Captain Boomerang and I just feel like I could play that weird movement for a long time before I get sick and tired of it. The Harlequin is charming as shit. I didn't think I loved the shark guy as much as I do. He's just like a weird goofball who is like the straight man, but also missing parts of our society that makes him weird even. And yeah, it's just that's amazing. What I've heard people say is that the story is terrible. I am shocked. I want them to go play an actual game that has like fucking 0 heart in it. I do not feel like the story of this game is like, I don't even know how you can argue that it is bad. I haven't played it. Maybe it gets shitty real bad, but I heard people say that the weakest part of the story was the beginning, and I'm playing the beginning, and I don't understand how it's weak. Like within the first, we're 2 hours in, we just encountered Batman, in which we've changed roles. So now we played as the Dark Knight for 5 games, and he was like hunting us. Now we are playing as our ragtag group of like bad guys who are now being hunted by the goddamn guy we played for 2 games, doing this to villains. Like, that's a really cool concept in story and design. Like, I don't understand. Like, people, that's why I want to ask people, what a part of the story do you not like? I just don't like it. By far, I've never seen more of a hate boner for a game than I have with Suicide Squad. Before it even launched, people were like, I'm done. I hate it. And I'm like, you don't even fucking touched it. Like, what you hate is live service games. What you hate is the looter shooter genre being soulless because no one fucking knows how to make it good. You hate these things. You do not hate this in front of you. It is just the thing that is going to break the camel's back, and you are going to fucking slaughter the fuck out of that damn camel. That is what it feels like. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong about Forspoken. I've lost all credibility ever since I was excited for a game about magic, okay? And about a cool handcuff thing that has just ruined it, okay? That's a great example. Take the story of fucking Suicide Squad, ragtag group of people, misfit fuckers, all this stuff, contrasted with this stupid story about a person who's a New York City girl who gets a stupid wristwatch, which is more entertaining than any other companion you've encountered in the entire game. That's a soulless husk of a story, okay? That's a piece of shit. That deserves your violence and vitriol. This game, I haven't played enough to really defend it as much as I am right now, but it seems fine. It seems like it's like, again, it's not that bad. You're being toxic, okay? You are being too much. I could be wrong. I've lost all credibility ever since I had hope for that game. Let's move on, okay? I broke 5 blood vessels in my own eye just right now. Lone says, I feel like they tried their best to take the combat from Arkham. Yeah, no, it definitely feels like that. They like the countering still exists with an FPS shooter. Like there are mechanics in the game that no fucking company had the balls to. Fuck, I'm gonna rip my own fucking teeth out. I'm gonna bite down on my teeth so hard they shatter is what I should have said. They're not just gonna rip my teeth out. So many games nowadays are so goddamn terrified to do anything. They are the same fucking game. Same fucking game. I hate it. Do you guys remember like 10 years ago when we were watching E3? We were probably, doing whatever. E3 had bangers like, hey, here's this game called Scalebound, okay? Here's insert whatever game that actually had a neat concept. There wasn't, it's a generic guy who has to go save a thing, and he shoots a gun a lot, and you have 20,000 people in an area that now are all fighting to do that. Every game is the fucking same mechanic you've seen a million times. A million times. In this Rocksteady game, they've made the whole Arkham City combat feel like it's actually different, like it's countering people. That's so cool. I've been asking that for years. You know Destiny, the game, where when you hit the headshot, it exploded their whole fucking body? You know, I always wish that a game company would take the shooter genre and just be like, hey, guess what? Randomly, on an assortment of enemies, there's gonna be a glowing ball. If you shoot that ball, they'll explode and they'll do more damage. And that's awesome. That way, you're not just shooting center mass, you're not just shooting the head. You're having to constantly adjust and keep your eyes trained to find this very specific thing that could look a bit different on a variety of enemies. That is different. That is taking something that is the same for fucking 20 years and making it slightly better, okay? Or different. Just trying. Oh, it made alienate people and make it so that they don't enjoy our thing. Remnant's a great example. Remnant came out. It's one of the games that did something different. It was like, let's try. Let's fucking try. We could fall on our face, smash our face into concrete. Horribly painful. But let's fucking try. Because we're crazy, and crazy breeds creativity, okay? And we haven't gotten that for years, okay? And as much as I don't like the weird bullshittery of microtransaction hellscape that we are currently existing in, I hate the fucking stagnation of creativity more than anything. And it's been there for years, where we haven't got something new that's ready to eat shit and die for a long time. Palworld came out, it's ready to die, okay? It's ready to fucking die immediately. The only thing that it kind of did to kind of get quite a good advantage is to goddamn steal a cool concept of being a summoner or taking goddamn Pokemon, being a beast tamer essentially. And then it kind of did the whole Pokemon thing, so it had some padding in the face, so that if it did eat shit, it's a little bit less bad. That's what I want nowadays. And I'm not saying that's Suicide Squad, but I'm saying at least there's something there that at least the first thing I seen in the first couple hours, it wasn't the same shit I seen 1,000 times before. You know what I mean? Anyways, Jesus Christ. I'm gonna break every blood vessel on my face. Sorry, gang. Holding that in for a long time. But solo only because guys, I lost so many fucking comments because I was just rambling about my hatred for the gaming industry. Please, I played Remnant 2 as well. Yeah, you did too. Everyone, I thought really enjoyed Remnant. Red says, if I do not have to spend my own money on Suicide Squad, I'd have less issue. Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea. I think Suicide Squad is too expensive right now. Just because everything's too expensive. Like, games can't get more expensive when everything else is getting more fucking expensive. Okay, that's crazy. So yes, I'm at the point, guys, where I'm totally willing to get like a pirated Steam key just to not have to spend $100. I don't care if it goes to shit in a couple weeks. Like, it's like, hey, guess what? This was a stolen key. And I'm like, yeah, I gotta play it for a couple months. That's good enough, you know, because Jesus. Then again, I'm not in a state of abundance. Like, you know, sometimes when you're like, I haven't really bought anything for a couple weeks, my money's kind of built back up. Yeah, I'm not in that place. So that's also probably a variable. There are some good moments and that made me laugh. I've seen the whole thing for Suicide Squad. The writing a lot of times is kind of cringe and desperate at times. Yeah, but to me that's jokes though. Like, it's the same thing as like if somebody makes a joke, oftentimes it's reaching. You know what I mean? Like it's trying. Like if you're not cringe, you're not trying. Like, I hate to say it. Eventually you try so hard that you stop becoming cringe because you kept trying. You know what I mean? And yeah. But I'm happy to hear that there are some good moments. Even you think that. That's nice. That's sweet. Pokemon is probably the worst example of yeah, exactly, stagnation, exactly. And then they're like, hey, let's actually reinvent the wheel a little bit. Palworld is weird because as much as I want to say that like they fucking smash their face into concrete and like that you have to have the willingness to want to fall that hard essentially, because you're trying something that new. Or just something it's not even that new. It's just trying something that hasn't been done that often, I guess. But I think anyone would be able to be like, you know what's a good idea for a video game? Pokemon. But instead of doing the Pokemon thing, you actually run around in an open world game and you capture Pokemon, like 3D wise. Maybe we give you bows and arrows. Fuck it, why don't we give you guns? Sure. guns, and all that stuff. I don't think it's fair to like all the criticism that say like, you know, Palworld stole X, Y, and Z. I feel like is bullshit because Palworld just ascended everything. Like Palworld wasn't just like, yeah, we could make a game where you run around and collect Pokemon. It was like, you can make a game where you run around and collect Pokemon. You can breed them. You can make your own fucking base. You can then manufacture everything in that base, making every Pokemon 10 times more valuable, and so on and so forth. So they did that. They did that times 10. So I don't think it's fair to just say that the game only succeeded because they were stealing from Nintendo or some weird shit. Even though I don't even agree with that. But anyway. Red says, "Let it out, Grid." Thank you. Red says, "I feel the exact same way. You're manifesting it right now." Yeah. Well, I'm so fucking sick and tired of most of this shit we've had to deal with. And by the way, I still love games. Like, it's not like we don't get good games. It's just like, I'm just sick and tired of the lack of effort on, like, willing to fall, basically. Lone says, meanwhile, Call of Duty has been getting away with being the same game every year. Yeah, well, Call of Duty is not even the worst example. The worst example is the goddamn sports games. Sports games are identical to one another, and people keep dropping fucking massive money on them, man. Every year with lack of innovation and stuff like that. Yeah. Christopher says, Call of Duty isn't worth playing anymore for a loan. You are not worth. It's not worth it. It's just constantly reskin microtransactions. Yeah. I mean, I do think they're like, when a game, what do you call it? The one that did make sense to me is the Battle Royale one, which is free to play, I believe. So you could just jump in Warzone. So like you could just jump in, play a little bit. If you wanted some skins, you could. But that's just because free to play is already in such a weird place in general because it's free. So you're kind of like, I get it. Like free to play is a great example. Contrast with all the other shit of like having to buy a full price game, having to buy a season pass, having to buy DLC, having to buy skin. Like that's where it starts getting so heavy that you're like, is this worth it, man? Like, you know, which is a criticism I see for Suicide Squad, and I have no real, yeah, like that sucks. You know, my only thing would be like, you as a person can choose not to buy these things, and that's your automated will essentially, ability to choose that you could do. Nub says, because people keep giving money to these. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's not, by the way, it's not like, as much as I'm frustrated, it's not that it doesn't make sense. Again, everyone has seen that clip at this point where the person was basically saying that he spent like 2 years of development on a video game and it made like 3-5 million something, and it was a really popular video game. And then the first mount in a pseudo-popular video game, a pretty popular video game, made twice as much money than the entire lifespan of that 2 years in the first week or something. This isn't probably a butchering of the exact story, but the gist is the same, where the reason why all these companies are doing this is because they're trying to make the most money possible. But it is very wholesome to see that there is like a rogue indie developer that kind of, I don't even know, dude. Like, I don't even know how Palworld exists. You know, like, I remember seeing that game, yeah, dude, if you want to get really, like, introspective, I remember seeing that game, like, years ago, like, maybe 2 years ago, I think, and I was like, this game looks, like, awful. You had, like, a weird asset flip, a main character that was shooting, like, a machine gun at a weird fluffy animal or something, and I was like, this looks weird, but kind of cool. But then at the last minute, I think they got some support from Xbox or something, and holy shit, did they just like pivot the cartoony art style? But like how big Palworld's map is insane. Like that's a Skyrim ass map, maybe even bigger. You know, yeah, it's crazy. So again, the reason why I bring that up is because I think we're always given this idea of like it is impossible for us to have the scale and scope of a video game that we want because in order to get that level of quality. It costs this much money, and in order for us to justify the cost, we have to hedge our bets and make stuff that people have already like had positive experiences with. But I don't know if that's always true, especially when there's examples like Power and stuff like that come out. You're like, well, wait, this game I don't think had as big a budget as Suicide Squad, but yet is to me comparable, if not better. Granted, I haven't played a lot of Suicide Squad, so who knows? But yes. I mean, it definitely is better than every game I've played in the past couple of years for Power. Granted, I also I know I always would have loved like survival games, but they've always seemed like way too, not complex, but just like they don't give you any guidance. And Palworld, I think, gives you just the right amount of guidance. Nub says, I might be biased, but the joke I've seen are just not even good. The jokes? Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's weird, man, because like a lot of people really love a lot of weird things. Like a lot of people really resonate with certain jokes within Marvel, within certain things like that. And there's some I get, some I'm like, yeah, but then other times I'm like, guys, what is happening? Like, this is terrible. I mean, that's the nature of the beast of the jokes. I do think it's hard to. You can say that like the jokes are kind of less good. That can make sense, but that's very subjective. I don't think you'd argue anyone else who has a very subjective style of like what humor is going to hit. But I do think the complexity that exists within like just even that first hour that we played, where they reversed the roles of you and Batman. That's really neat storytelling. That's really neat. So like the actual storytelling that I think you should judge a story by, not by like a singular moment of a joke missing, or a couple jokes missing, etc. It's instead like that what the story did, what moments that story created, etc. You know. I can't read most of Nub's comment because it's blocked by my cursor's on the comment and it's like a pinned thing. Pokemon game would be amazing. Too bad Palworld is a survival game because I dislike those type. Really? Oh, dude, it's not even a survival game though, Nub. Like that's the hilarious part about the survival game element of that game. It's like the easiest thing to not die. Like you literally just can, you just put down like two plots of farming. You'll get raided by like one person, and you'll be good. You know, man. This game, I don't know if this is like what we're actually going to experience, or if this is just cutscenes, but it looks really cool. Mick, I gotta fix this. My brain is gonna lose its mind. Oh. There we go. Now I can see the full Twitch chat without it being obstructed. The open world Pokemon game would be. Honestly, Pokemon copied Dragon. Yeah, I know. That's one of the things that people mention, which I agreed with. Was again, the Palworld argument is the most like. People are so misinformed about a lot of shit. It seems like, you know, like where they're like, it's copying, and then people are like, dude, and then like some person has to come forward in the comments, and they don't read the comments, so they're just gonna keep having a fucking stupid opinion. Anyway, sorry. It's their own opinion. It's correct in its own way, whatever. But yeah, same as you said, everyone steals from everyone. It's an iterative process constantly. There might be an argument for you stealing exactly what they're doing. Like you're like, even then though, it's really hard to steal someone exactly what they're doing, you know? And oftentimes it's like, bitch, you just don't want to have competition. You just don't want to have to work harder because they're willing to work harder than you. But anyways, yeah, everything had something that came before that is very obviously inspired by X, Y, or Z, you know, yeah. No one wants to pay the piper when it's coming to them, you know? I'm seeing that a lot with AI nowadays, man. Where like so many people didn't make a fuss about, you know, people losing jobs in the past, about like, you know, trucking and all these things that happened with the advent of technology. And now when AI is knocking, everyone's just like, but now we should care. And I'm like, you didn't care about all the fucking good people who were losing their jobs beforehand. Why are you caring now? Like, it's your time to collect. The piper's coming to collect, you know? Anyways, that's a little bit more of a hard sell because so many people are getting hit by it. But anyway, well, Num says, due to Capcom choice, it might not be Dragon's Dogma. I mean, to say crafting and survival. Oh, okay, sure. But the crafting is actually pretty fun. But I get it. Yeah, it may not be free. That's fair. Also, we should just play this game on stream. This game is ready to be played right now on Steam for us, and it looks very neat. We might play it eventually. Red says, I miss when sports games were fun, like NBA Street or Tony Hawk games. Yeah, the one that I always remember fondly of is there was like NBA Jam, I think is what it was called. But you had like superpowers essentially. It was just like the best example of like, it was like, oh fuck. There's a show out right, not right now, it's ended. It's called Blue Lock, is that right? Or Blue something. I think it's called Blue Lock. Anyways, it's like an anime about soccer essentially. But it's exactly like where I remember that basketball game being, where like you had this in the anime, they're doing like fucking dimensional tears when they're kicking a ball, and it's usually like in their head or something. But but it's really intense, really cool. And then there's NBA Jam, I think, if I'm remembering that correctly, where you're doing like double backflips off the rim, smashing the fucking the ball in the hoop, and that's sick. Yeah, you played Christopher. Oh, Christopher, you played the Modern Warfare 2 remakes and such. Yeah. I heard a lot of people say that they were not great, not great. I will say though, there's a YouTube channel that does play the Modern Warfare stealth levels perfectly. Those videos are fire. Those videos are really nice to see. Red says, or Fluff says, humor is subjective. Yeah, that's what I feel as well. Palworld is barely a survival. I agree. Yeah, I feel it's very very not much like a survival game. There are moments where it honestly feels like a thriving game. Like it's super easy to set up things. So long as you have a slight know-how, you can just cook. You can just cook, man. Loans, I think it says also something kind of related to what we are talking about. Did you guys hear about how Dragon Infinite Wealth locked a new game plus behind a $15 upgrade? I did not. Dragon Infinity. I don't even know what that is, but they locked a new game plus behind a $15 upgrade. That's terrible. That's some shit. That's some terrible shit, man. Yeah. That new game plus stuff. I don't know about you guys. Yeah. I'm not really keen on the new game plus sometimes. I mean, I was when I was younger. I remember I was like, yeah, let's play this. But I always get 2 hours into replaying it, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I mean, so yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, you will have to. You will have to stomach me rambling at you guys about the Apple Vision Pro. This is our designated VR talk, baby. And then we'll talk about Manhwa. You guys want to stuff for that as well. Specifically solo leveling. Let's begin, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, it looks cool. Okay? Oh, I'm not sure if you feel the same way about me. I am not buying this thing, okay? I can't just, but also, if I had money, like a fuck ton of money, I'd be like, I'm buying this thing. Because it looks cool. It looks very cool. I keep seeing some videos of people showcase the Apple Vision Pro. It is both shockingly impressive and also a lot. What I mean by a lot is like when you see these weird avatars talking, and at first you're like, ew, stop. But then you see like someone like raise their eyebrows and go like, and then the model like perfectly does that, and all I think of whenever I see shit like that is I see every neuron and every person who plays VR chat or any sort of furry simulator game just losing it, because those guys are at the cutting edge of face tracking technology so that their persona can be whatever they want. And holy shit, I can only imagine. They're like, it's here. I'm gonna do it. 4K easy. Anyways, point is, it's a little overwhelming at times when you're seeing it. You're kind of like, But when I say overwhelming, I mean like it's kind of like, not sure if I like this. Like it's kind of like a weird subsect of Uncanny Valley. It's not quite like this is not right. It's more of like, people throw the word dystopian. I think that's too much as well. It's not dystopian. It kind of just feels odd. Odd is a good way of putting it. Like when I see those kind of things, I think people's natural feeling is odd. Like I just seen a video of Casey Neistat also running around New York with it on his face. It's odd. Like that's also odd. But also, as someone who's experienced some VR, and as someone who like, I've been watching these people for a long time who've reviewed this thing. They don't have reactions like this a lot. Like I'm pretty good about feeling someone's like bullshit out. Like I can tell when someone is like clearly putting on a show for a sponsor. It's pretty easy to pick up on stuff like that for me. I didn't get that. I didn't get that for this. I genuinely felt like people were like, dude. and that's the same kind of feeling that a lot of people who experience VR for the first time kind of feel, where they're like, dude, that's something like weird. I'm like, I love it and I fucking hate it a little bit because it's just odd enough to where I don't get it. But yeah, man, the face tracking to me, again, if that gets better, Well, first of all, I don't want to have my actual fucking face. Like, I wish so badly that they would have some sort of, like, I hope, the thing that we should be excited for is Samsung and Google, I believe, are trying to come together to make a similar thing to spatial computing and whatever. Hopefully much cheaper, which is cool. But anyways, the one thing that they mentioned, or the one thing I would love to see that they have, is a similar thing to, like, this Avatar thing, except have it be, like, a cool cel-shaded, like cartoon character that's your that's a thing that you can design. Have a bunch of hairstyles in there that people can fuck with, and that'd be awesome. I think a lot of people would jive with that instead of having a realistic mutant face that is your own face, staring back into the abyss. You know, that's a little weird. I think much people would more like enjoy a cartoony-esque vibe. Anyways, so there's that, and then what was the other thing? Oh, dude, Can I show you guys this? It'll take me like a minute to find it. Do I really want to? I want to kind of show you guys it. It made me laugh so much. If I just pull it up, I hope my video doesn't get claimed if I do it. I don't usually YouTubers who are bigger don't really have this issue with like maybe. No, sometimes they do. Fuck. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll think about it for a bit. But yeah, show it. Okay. That's all I needed. All right, I'll jump in and show you guys. I'll have to find it. That's why it's also kind of like a bastard of a thing. I have to put my goddamn mic thing here. Okay, look at just my, this will probably work. You'll just see a side profile of my dumb face, my disgusting beard, which I probably should trim. I've debated going back to less of a gargantuan beard. You know the deal. More of a leaner beard. What are we doing? No, I didn't want to type into my browser, dude. Vision Pro. The review's gonna be out. This is a problem. That. Which was the one I seen? It was one of the first people who I seen cover it. That's the one. Okay, so this made me laugh. Wait, is this different? That's a different gentleman. No, that's not the right one. Damn it! Where are you? There it is. I also will say the pornography on this is gonna be wild. It's the first POV camera that is by far staggering in its execution. Where is it? Where is it? Is it this? Where is it? It's so funnily dystopian. I gotta show you. There it is. It's right here. Okay, so this is so funny. So fucking funny to me. Okay. This video might get claimed. Blame Red. Okay. Here we go. So. Okay. So first of all, this is a lot. This is a lot to look at. You're like, ah! Ah, run away. Terror, scream. Okay. Here we go. We have all these characters on screen, okay? What is so funny about this one, I can actually play the audio for you, but but you have Justine, which looks kind of cursed, a little bit cursed. The eyeliner looks great, the face, all that. I think the makeup actually works against you because I think the machine is already gonna soften up your face. Anyways, the Asian dude looks pretty good. This one looking actually okay. The more you look at it, the more you're like, yeah, okay. But it's so funny that the Asian guy is basically like, yeah, guys, the scans are actually pretty good. And then Justine is like, yeah, the scans are actually kind of impressive and really good. And then KHD in the middle is just like, just dead silent. And by far, he's the most cursed. And his teeth and everything looks so weird compared to everyone else's. Which is so fucked up. Oh man. But now they're showcasing how you basically can move it over to your left and people can basically monitor you not looking at them. So if you're like on the computer like talking to your wife, she's like, you're not paying attention to me, and you're like, oh, fine. You know what I mean? But it's so funny. And there are moments where again, I feel like it's the more you look at it, the more you're like, yeah, this is kind of impressive to some extent. But oh my god, dude, it was so funny hearing how two people were just like, this is so impressive. And then the one guy's like, yeah, yeah, I look like an abomination. What's going on? Although I just think also looks kind of rough on this one. The one blonde girl, it's brutal. Her like neck is all weird and it like freezes thing in place. But can I find one that's not so cursed? A moment that's not so cursed. Where's one that's not the worst? I can't find it. A lot of it's like, let's just go to somewhere where it's actually some stuff happening. There we go. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, this is the Apple Vision Pro stuff. It looks kind of neat. It's not nearly as big as people thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be massive. To me, man, what I really want after watching a bunch of these videos, I don't want it to be what it is. I don't want it to be heavy. Like, it's made of fucking glass and metal. Like, what? I don't want it to be glass and metal. I want it to be plastic, light as fuck, because I think it'd honestly be perfect if it was actually made of plastic and shit, because the glass adds shit tons of weight, the metal adds shit tons of weight. Other than that, it would, like, yeah, it would be so much better if it was not fucking metal, because that's everyone's main problem. Isn't this fucking dope? You can pull apart a car. But who's gonna use that? This is one of those weird things of like, this is gonna be some sort of proprietary technology of like some sort of weird Japanese app dating sim thing. We're gonna be able to like strip clothes off people, which, you know, to each their own. But imagine also your virtual dystopian waifu, wife something, man, butler, whatever. And then you're just like, fuck it, I want you to wear nothing, and you're a creep, and it's gross. But guess what? No one knows, but Apple. You might get... Anyways, we also, this is cute. I will say one thing that you do notice with the whole preview is you'll notice foveated rendering, which that is basically, this thing has eye tracking, that's how you control everything. But that eye tracking basically makes it so that you have like 4K displays, which is awesome. But the reason why they're able to do that is because it's only rendering wherever your eye is looking. So you'll notice that in some of the footage where like, oh, the edges look really blurry. It's because he's not looking anywhere near that edge. So it's basically only rendering things within like kind of a gradient cone, essentially, which is pretty neat. And all that. But what was the other thing I wanted to mention? Also, ladies and gentlemen, the Hadada is gonna be crazy, because I just seeing people like use the pass-through as I sped over using the pass-through. It's pretty good POV, like real good pulled back. You can see a lot. There is gonna be some gnarly Hadada. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Anyways, let's move on. But yes, man. Again, this makes me even more think that the Google and Samsung's competitor device to this is going to be much better. I think it's going to be probably significantly cheaper, and it's probably going to be. I would love to see them like come up with controllers, just kind of be like, yes, you can use your hands, but we could also make this a gaming device, which would make it so much more valuable to everyone else. And I think they're going to make it out of fucking plastic, hopefully, so that it's not going to be 1,000 pounds in your fucking face. Okay. And that could be sick. That could be a legit win. What? What? Apple. Write this down. Write this down. Which one? Was that me talking about the shell shaded or whatever? Also, no. I think they've all considered stuff like this. Like, I think the reason why Apple even made this headset is so that they can eventually sell a cheaper version. So people are like, oh my god, it's so expensive. But it's like, yeah, because like if they can't, let me put it this way. If Apple came out with a $2,000 headset, that would be expensive to everyone, right? In the VR space, it's actually not that expensive. You know, for the Steam shittery, you get an 80% less of the quality of this, and you still have to spend $1,000. So you're spending $1,000 for like so much of this stuff, pass through all that stuff. But if you're getting a Steam with like light fixture or whatever, lighthouse tracking, that's gonna run you off very, very expensive. But if you're like, hey, let's make this, let's sell it for $4,000 almost, $3,900 basically, it's still up there. Very expensive. Oh my god, that's so expensive. But then, and also, then they release everyone makes reviews of it, says, this is special, guys, this is actually unique. And then a year later, they release one for $1,000, maybe $2,000. I would imagine $1,500, and then it can go up to $2,000 if you're willing to get the max storage or whatever. I bet that's, at least generally speaking, going to be significantly less of a hard pill for people to swallow because the price tag was so high now, you know? I think Apple or Google and Samsung are going to follow suit in that strategy as well. Ugh. Because again, the glass, the weird like eyes coming through the fucking top, all that shit, most people would be like, I don't want that, but it is technically considered higher quality materials, so that's also a reason why they could be like, see, this is like a high quality product, when I think, yeah, they're gonna come out with something significantly smaller. Lone says, I shall return. Ladies and gentlemen, I have one final thing to ask you about this. If there was $1,000 equivalent of this headset, maybe you're in a place in your life when you had the opportunity to spend it, but it would still be a significant amount of money. Because maybe right now you don't have a lot of money, you're like, I can't even think about that. But say in a place you're in life where you had enough money to buy this, but it would still be enough to be like, that's a lot. Would you pay for this? And also, would you pay for this that is not from Apple? So if this is from someone like Google, who has like Android, and Android is open source, or not open source, but like you can do a lot more with Android than you can with Apple's proprietary software, would you actually get a spatial computing headset? And would you be able to justify $1,000 for it? Not 4,000, it's crazy, 1,000. Because basically, it is kind of going to be something in the wheelhouse of your phone. Or you can open apps, you can watch movies at incredible qualities. You know, that's the weird pitch that they're selling, is like, well, theoretically, this $1,000 headset is like is going to replace 1,000 monitors of extremely amazing quality. So instead of spending like a couple $100s or a couple $1,000s on good TVs and monitors and all that stuff, why not just pay for this, and you can go anywhere and good. The issue with that is that you're also wearing something, so it's uncomfortable, so it's not like there's no strings attached, so it's kind of a weird sell. But yeah, also, no one's responding because I don't know, I feel like I feel like a lot of people right now are in this kind of weird, I don't know, you know what I mean? They're kind of like, it's neat, I want to try it. I haven't heard one person who's like, I have no interest in even trying it. I think people are like, I want to see what's going on, but I don't think people are ready to be like, I'm not ready to even consider buying this yet, you know? As much as I do hear people say some interesting things, I don't know if I'm there, you know what I mean? And when we start throwing around $1,000, I'm like, that's a lot, but then when you think, oh, my phone is probably around $600, $800 or something crazy, you know, maybe, but even then, I don't think people go to that jump. I don't think people think of like phone equal to this spatial computing thing, even though I think it's largely going to do the same thing. If you have it on, I think you can talk to people, you can FaceTime with people, so. But ladies and gentlemen, let's throw on some other gameplay, and then we will talk about one other thing, and then we'll talk about whatever you guys want, alright? Sorry for coughing. I need to put on gaming. No face cam, there we go. We'll get this off the screen. We'll look at one other thing, which is this. I feel like I'm speedrunning my video getting claimed, but hey. Alrighty. Oh, my nose. Okay. This is the part of the stream where I will ramble at you about Manhwa, okay? And you will probably continue to play that game you're playing, just happily. Maybe you'll get a little frustrated. Maybe you'll be like, I need to go get some water, and you don't even hear this, okay? But, ladies and gentlemen, I recently there's been this thing that's happened in the anime space, which is a beloved manhwa coming into existence on the big screen of anime. Those guys don't know, Solo Leveling is starting to air. It's already been airing for a couple weeks here. But Solo Leveling is like one of the most notoriously loved shows, anime or manhwa out there. And to my surprise, people were not upset with it. Even when Chainsaw Man started being released, they were even like, oh god, you know, I don't know if it's not quite as good as the manhwa. I was hearing some of that, not a lot, but some of it. And what do you call it? I was shocked when I heard so many positive things about this game, or about this anime. So I was like, I love manhwa like a lot. I think it's finally time for me to get into this damn show. So I started watching it, and by God, has it been the best. It's been so good. But let me say, Solo Leveling has one of the... it's just a really awkward start, basically. It's not bad, it's just kind of lost in a weird way. Like, a lot of shows in manhwa have this kind of interesting thing where they'll do stuff like, in a story, let me explain it this way. In a story, you have things that you're going to basically grab onto. In a lot of cases, this is your main character. Maybe the main character goes through something traumatic. Maybe the main character does something that you deeply find connects you to them. Maybe he has a little sister that he was willing to get eviscerated to save them. You know, something like that. You're like, oh, I have family that I love dearly too. I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. Something like that. The story doesn't have any of that in the first couple hours. You kind of have this character who's getting the shit kicked out of him by the world, and we're kind of like, okay, sure. Hello, what's good, Lone? We're talking about Solo Leveling. But another example of stories that do this really well is a person will be like, hey, I'm reincarnated into the book that I made. That's a constant thread within the manhwa space. And in his novel, he knows that he'll be going throughout the first couple chapters, and he'll encounter this person that's like, this is the person that eviscerates a whole town, and she's a librarian. I'm gonna get close to this fucking person because she knows more magic than anyone is aware of right now in this stage of the story. So he goes and helps and tries to befriend her, etc. That's interesting. That immediately takes this random character that you would think nothing of and then puts a lot of interest on them, and that's what you're focused on, right? Solo Leveling doesn't have that necessarily in the beginning. It doesn't have that core, really interesting thing that pulls you in. But what it does have is a really interesting arc that starts immediately, which is both good and bad in a way. I think I've heard so many good things about the show, but no one's mentioned that you need to get through the first 60 chapters and then you'll be locked in. It's so good past 60 chapters in. It's also good the first couple chapters as well. It's not bad, but it's just, I feel like I wasn't really sunk in and pulled into this game, into this manhwa. I almost thought oh, did people overhype this? Because I was starting to read it and I was like, yeah, I just not finding myself connect with the main character, sink in, all that kind of stuff. Granted, it is also the first in a weird way for this weird hunter saga that has now permeated all of this types of stuff, all of these types of stories. Lone says 60 chapters in. Damn. Well, they're not bad 60 chapters. So I shouldn't say that. But the issue, Lone, it kind of depends also, Lone. So if you're watching or reading something, I don't know. To me, I really crave the feeling of feeling like I'm in. You know what I mean? You know when you're reading a story and you're like, you got me. You know what I mean? I don't really feel that for a lot of the story, where the beginning part, it immediately throws you into an arc. This arc is him basically trying to endure and survive this horrible outcome. Goes into a dungeon, gets basically the worst case scenario happens where it turns into a double S rank dungeon. 90% of the people he's with dies. It's fucking brutal. He's left for dead, all that shit. Stuff happens, he survives. But that's the first arc, is you seeing that, which is both awesome, it's really good, it's really creative, but it doesn't there's no moment where I'm ooh, I really like this main character a lot, I'm in. You know, there's something that he does that makes me feel I'm bought in a weird way, or anything like that. Again, not to say this is bad, just to say that's kind of missing. Oh, that's really cool to see that there's a skinning knife. And by the way, this is Nightingale. As soon as I get into this game, I'm turning off all of the HUD, because holy fuck, is the interfacing look disgusting. Everything is just UI everywhere. Anyways, but yeah, let me put it this way, Lone. It's pretty easy to get to 60 chapters. It's not an uncomfortable read. But you are kind of getting to the point in that 60-hour sprint or 60 chapter sprint where kind of man, it's good. I'm into it. It's not it doesn't got me yet. You know, there's been a lot of my favorite manhwa where within the first couple seconds I'm it's got me. It's got me bad, or you've got my attention for 60 chapters because you've introduced something to me that is enough for me to grab onto, where I'm locked in. You know. But what do you call it? What was I saying? yes, yeah. To put it into perspective, though, Lone, within 5 days, I'm at chapter 120, and there is 200 chapters, and it's finished, so it's done already. So to put that into perspective, is I'm like, oh, it's not that great. It is so good after the 60th chapter point. It's not even the same story. It's like it becomes like I am so in past chapter 60. That puts anything into perspective. That's that. Also, they need to add some sauce onto the recoil of those guns. That looks terrible. Anyways, he's like, okay. But Lone, I think, wait, I've been watching Spy X Family. Is it good? Is it as good as the first season? Because that first season is clean, dude. The first season of Spy X Family is up there for like one of the more wholesome shows I've ever watched. You know? Although, man, I'm kind of worried that show had like a really powerful start, and then everyone was kind of like, I'm over it, because I kind of hope it sticks around. You know, I think it will. I think it's like something can't be that successful and stop. But yeah, I remember people being like all into it. I think it also came around. Did it come out around COVID? I think it did. One of the tragedies of the world that happened in the last months. But yeah, definitely, I think it came out at a time when people were like, kind of happy to watch some happiness. Lone says, I've been watching Spy X Family. Yeah, Lone, hit me with, well, first of all, let me hear what you think about Spy X Family, but also, let me see them Nikitas that you've been holding back on me for a couple weeks for. For those guys who do not know, Lone is very into Nikitas, a very fun mobile game that is a little much, okay? Lone says, yes, I think so. This season focused on Yuri and followed her on one of her missions. Yeah, see, that's a little sketchy, because that's one of the things that I don't know how they're ever going to like respond. Remember I watched a video back in the day talking about Spy X Family. In the last months, it's 2024. Yeah, I mean, sorry. These last four years feel both like both feel like it's happened all in 6 months, and also it's taken forever to get over the the hump. But anyways, that's one of the things I've heard from a video back in the while where Yuri from Spy X Family, the mom who is like a violent, visceral assassin, how they're really gonna handle that, because in the story they don't like hold back of like she just slaughters people, like she is. They kind of play into it like, oh, mommy's psychotic, you know, but it's bad. It's bad. So I don't know if they're ever gonna really like dip into it to the extent, but I thought in the manga they do. They kind of like have a moment where even Lloyd is like, what? Like this is a lot, you know? And yeah, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Maybe that person in the video was like overhyping how bad it is, and also how they're gonna handle like, yeah, this is like, I mean, maybe I imagine the way they would do it is they make like the people that she's hunting the most reprehensible, just terrible, mean, evil people possible. Even though I'm pretty sure in the manga they're like, a lot of them are bad. A lot of them are bad. A lot, but not all. And that's a little rough. Vlone says, also, the first episode of Season 2 is a funny as hell. Ooh, I can't wait to watch it then. I still don't know what anime I want to watch next. I'm so into the solo thing that I'm kind of waiting. But anyways, I was going to say, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, if I didn't mention it, if you were not here yet, we are going to be streaming again today. It's weird, but I didn't want to leave us off on a weird place with the Batman game, so I wanted to stream at 7 p.m., so it is currently 2:30 for me. So at 7, we are probably going to be, it could either be 7 or 6, probably 7. 7 I'll probably be streamed for like an hour or 2 hours. And we will try to push into more of Suicide Squad to the point, hopefully, where we can get to a stopping point to where I can like run around and go play the game, because I actually do just want to play it. I was having that much fun that I wanted to like, I wouldn't mind like going and do these side objectives. I hope I can get to that point within 2 hours, hopefully. And yeah, so there's another stream today. Hopefully 1 or 2 you can pop in. But if it's not happening, because time zones are a nightmare, and it might be like 2 p.m. for you. I get it. I'm sorry. Yeah, it might be a weird thing, I wanted to have it archived for us having a goofy fun time today. And yes, but as soon as we're done the stream, I'm going to go make a thumbnail for that Palworld video. Which should take hours, unfortunately. Oh, you already sent them? Perfect. Red says, have you tried Gale Claw in Palworld yet, Grim? They are so worth using. I haven't. I actually am looking for what mount I should use. So like I have a nocturnal lion creature that I have, and I now have because I can make Pokeballs now, I can easily go get myself like a furnace, like a ×3 furnace guy. So I don't have any issue with like having a good forge person, a person who can like forge stuff for me. So I don't need the reason why I had him on my one base is because he has like forge ×3, and I can easily get that now. So I'm kind of debating what I should give him, or what mount I should use essentially. I don't know what is like a really good competent mount at level. I think I'm at level 39. Maybe I just got to level 40. I think I'm at level 39. No, I think I'm at level 39. I don't think I got to 40 yet. I'll deem you a clip. Yeah, hell yeah. It'd also be nice having like a new kind of objective, because like right now I do find myself in Palworld being like, do I want to? Because like all I have to really do at this point is I just need to like either go around, put on a podcast, and like find like blue homunculuses, or sorry, the lift monks surrounding the map. You know, the little tiny statues increase your capture chance. That would be meaningful to do. I could also just run around and capture more shit, just so that I kind of am good to go, and stuff like that. Also, I still am looking out for that mod. I don't know how easy it is to do. Probably not that easy, but I want a mod that calculates the amount of time that you've been away and then gives you the rewards that your base would have produced if you had left your game on, essentially. Lone says Suicide Squad question mark, Grim? Maybe. I don't really like. Again, the reason why it's like a perfect example of me is Palworld, because Palworld is kind of a game that is very similar to Let It Die in the sense that if you know certain information, you can thrive. Not a little bit, a lot. So, like, to me, there's a really cool leverage point of like, man, I wish I would have known this because it would have saved me so much time. And that makes me want to make a video so that I can help my past self, because innately I'm very selfish and I want to just make sure I can save the person who I was. But Suicide Squad, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have that moment. Like, I find myself more like, hey, I want to go look if there's a day 1 legendary farm, because I'm not gonna have enough time to grind out all these objectives all the time. So I'm gonna try to find a way to dip into some endgame maybe before I should, but just enough to be like, yeah. It also helps just knowing like what is the farm, like how do you get legendaries or even like rares or like okay loot. If you happen to find that video, by the way, send it my way. If you have a Suicide Squad how to farm guide, I would love it. Red says, Hal's pair are good flying mounts until you get a Suzuki. I know the one that seems to be the best is like this black, cool, eagle-looking thing that like almost always looks like when you're riding them, you have a spike right up your. But yeah, Red says most mounts have a default speed rating of 100,000. This person, Jet Dragon has 3,000 speed. Oh yeah. Is Jet Dragon the guy? The one that it turns into like a Digimon essentially, where it no longer has wings, it just thrusters and shit. He's one that you have to get until you only get a saddle for when you reach level 50 though, so that's pretty far away, I think. Oh, Lone says also I need to send you a tip for Suicide. Yeah, hit me with that. I always love seeing those videos. By the way, Fluff usually fucking throws those shits at me, which I love a lot. Even though it takes me a little bit to watch them sometimes, but I always love those like. Here, because it's kind of so hard, the whole like there's so many tips and tricks channels that like you have to sift through a lot of them to find like what is actually good or meaningful, because they're all kind of like saying the same thing. Kind of what I mentioned about like the whole Palworld thing in my head, where like everyone was saying the same thing about like do this and do that without explaining what the problems you're going to encounter in between those things. You know. only real guide SS want to need is for riding challenges. The only real guides SF for Suicide Squad would be the Riddler challenges. Jet Set is the legendary Drake. Yeah, I thought so. That's what it was. Fluff says, so it's the ultimate mount for now. Yeah. For now. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't really love that. I mean, how do I put it? I really want them to adjust and tweak so that the breeding and the talents and the skills can be very way more something. To me, again, I was really excited for the build diversity in the game, and that's largely shriveled up. Yeah, a lot of it seems like it's the same problem that happens in any of these games, which is there's clearly the best, and there's no real way to adjust the best at all. There's ones that are going to be the fastest, so then you just get the best, and you make them faster, and now there's no competition. I like it when things they have some sort of utility or a thing to them. That's why, again, I always say it, but I was so excited by the ghosts. And the ghosts were probably the biggest misdirect of my life, where it was you can have this many Pokemon on field. That's so cool. That could be so powerful, only for me to realize that they do something that every game does, which they intrinsically weaken that thing. They make it so that it doesn't play by the same rules as other things, or the excitement of oh my god, you can have 5 Pokemon on the field at once. That's crazy, but they can't do anything. They do something once, and then they're stuck in place for 20 minutes, and then so it's not really you having 6 Pokemon or 8 Pokemon on field at once. You have access to an ability that does low damage for a burst, and then it stops. And I'm that's not what it said at all. Okay, you lying asshole. Okay, it's one of my negatives about Palworld is that I want them to take that shit away. That's why I also think that mods are so nice, because they'll absolutely do shit like that. There'll absolutely be a mod where it's rebalancing the pals to be good at something dominantly. I wish there were more variants of what is it called? The sweeper, basically. That person has an intrinsic perk that, even though he's not very good by himself, he can be godly. I want someone's and a lot of them are like that. A lot of the Pokemon are I do an uppercut. If it was I do an uppercut that scales off of how much carry weight you have. I do an uppercut, or I scale off of how much attack you have invested, and all the attack you have invested gets converted into carry weight for you. If I'm with your party, if I'm in your party, stuff like that is genuinely meaningful perks that can be useful. Or be scaled. Those are the two things I want: usefulness and scale. It seems like a lot of the Pokemon eventually just kind of become he has good fire kindling. His perk is when you mount him, you do some shitty damage of Electro. That's not exciting. That needs to be tweaked, I think. For mounts in the range, I'd say something like Beacon or I can't get Ranahawk, I think. Halsfairy are all good flying mounts. Yeah, I think also the meta is just getting, breeding them to the extent in which you can get a speedy variant of that, right? Halsfur are all good flying mounts. Gatleclaw replaces your gliding function when in your party, so it's not. So it's not a mount. Oh, I see. DM you a short clip of Glacial Claw. Ooh. Interesting. I wonder how that actually plays. Yeah, because that's one of the weird things I've seen where I think you do get better gliders. So I kept seeing this Pokemon becomes a glider, which is neat. But at the same time, I'm but you have a glider always. Why would this be a perk I'd ever want? So then the only thought I could have is they must scale that to be significantly a better glider, a much better glider, you know. Fluff says that you can mix breed into legendaries, but you can pass legendaries 20% type damage boost that only other pals various. You see, that's kind of neat, but again, it's kind of plays in the same problem of everyone's mount is going to probably be the same. It's probably going to be these end game Pokemon and all that. Which to me, I would much rather have like, hey, like for instance, this pal has the highest base defense in the entire game, and if you basically condense 1,000 of him into one of him, there's no pal that even comes close to this much defense. Like that kind of unique scale is something I deeply want in the game, and I don't think that exists to the extent in which I want it. I do believe there's probably like a thing with a decent amount of defense, but I don't know if it's going to surpass the legendaries, which someone would argue like, but that's the point of a legendary Pokemon. But I'm like, yeah, but man, it just makes it so that everyone has the same fucking legendaries at the end. And it becomes a game about like how to get to legendaries and not how to get to how to build something, how to like craft a build that synchronizes perfectly within itself, a play style, etc. Fluff says you could condense Dedrin to make the passive attack stronger. Yeah, but Fluff, to me, like, will it be stronger than any of the end game stuff? Or even, let's not even say stronger. Let's say, will it be less than average or less than lower? So if they take the high point, would it be a little bit lower than them? I'm not talking about you need to be as good as gods. I'm just talking you need to be comparable. You need to be usable, essentially, to the extent in which you're not feeling like I'm just an asshole for working at 50% the capacity that otherwise could be, you know? Which is how you level up your partner skill. Anubis has a maybe, yeah, maybe if you get like fucking all of them hyper condensed, we might try to shoot for that. That could be kind of fun, but damn, you know? Anubis has 3 exclusive moves. Some pals are more intended for being workers and hybrids and stuff like that. Also, yes, you can get mounts with Swift Runner, Nimble, and Legendary, maximizing your speed. Yeah. Stuff like that is nice though. Like that's something that makes the breeding kind of interesting, where there is like a lot that you can do to make your sub-average pal significantly better. But then the question becomes, well, it's not about the perks then, it's about what is the highest base. Then you just take the highest base, and then you just add all the other good perks. Like, the same thing can be said for damage perks. Like, you can get all the best damage perks. Also, what is that? Looks like you have 15 arms. It's so weird. It's kind of cool, though. You can climb anything. Love says it's specifically faster and longer horizontal distance. Personally, I'm not focused on legendaries as my combat team. I'm only using Jet Dragon to quickly defog the map. Otherwise, I'd rather use lesser pals. Yeah, no, there's definitely certain pals that you'll have like the aesthetic of. But like you said, there's a mass incentive to be efficient in a game where you have things that you want to do. Like whether that's going into lift monks or whatever it could be, you know? And it's, again, to me, the idea that like this one perk on this ghost Pokemon, which isn't very strong, as far as like the base Pokemon, this one perk, you can easily envision like an army just firing a bunch of unique skills at someone, even if they're scaled massively down. That could be much more powerful. So you're like, oh, I could see how this could be good. Whereas a lot of them, you're like, he does an uppercut, he does a roll, okay, all right, I guess. You know, it's like, Like, I want a team consisting of Kitsune as my dedicated fire ground mount. Yeah. I'm gonna say I did see that, a Kitsune wolf thing. I feel like that's gotta be your fucking mount if you can actually ride it. Love says, it depends on what you need. For pal problems, alpha size pals, bosses, they're too big to navigate in the dungeons, boss areas, etc. So you want to breed a smaller fifth one. Yeah, but my point is that there's always going to be something that's like 10 times better than whatever you want to use. So there's probably a Pokemon that is a small Pokemon and is the highest base stats you can attain. And then you can just throw whatever you want on them as far as breeding talents, and they're going to be good. The thing I would love to see is if that special ability, whatever they have, could have any sort of scale so that they could also be good in their own unique way. So maybe you're a person who heavily invested in defense, maybe you have a pal that takes all your defense and puts it into his initial skill, so that you can just one bang things and you're tanky as fuck. Something like that. The only want to make more jet dragons is to breed 2 together. So you'll need to catch 2 alphas first. Yeah, you need to kill 2 of the, or capture 2 of the dragons. And that one's like the max difficulty. So you're gonna need like the best Pokeball ever. The jet dragon does break the game. Otherwise, dragon types is only strong against dark weaken. I see, it is. So my goal is mostly to catch the legendaries for me to breed their exclusive path. Yeah, that seems like everyone's kind of thing. Because a lot of people I don't think want, like, even love the look of the like legendaries. People just want to, like, again, I think this speaks to what people intrinsically want to do versus what there's kind of like the most efficient thing is to do. It'd be awesome if both of those things could be essentially connected or met. Yeah, but I don't think it can. Maybe that's the case. That'd be a good way to kind of fix everything. Well, no, because there's intrinsic problems with like just certain pals not having a good enough perk to make them viable or usable. Like if somebody really likes Vixie because they just like the look of it a lot, and then like, there's not really a good reason to use Vixie because her base stats are like fucking rock bottom, you know? Now, theoretically, they could add like the ability for you to condense 100 Vixies into one, and then they would reach like legendary status and basically be as resistant as the dragon or something. But would take you a fucking demonstrous amount of time to do. But if you really liked Vixie, you could do it. That to me is a nice way to solve it. I still want the skills to have something more meaningful in them besides my character does an uppercut or whatnot. Again, the game blue balled me badly when it started to show me that you could have like an army of ghosts, and then you're like, kind of. You're always gonna be throwing a shitty orb at people. Maybe if you condense 1,000 into 1,000 of them, maybe. But then it's like, God, what the fuck? Why spend 200 hours when I could spend 3? Like, I'm willing to spend 5 or 50 hours, not 100, just to get the same thing. Yep, you pretty much need legendary spheres to catch legendary alphas. Golly! Some of the Palgear ability can make a good argument to use them, like the Pangolin Rocket and the Jolt Hog Grenade, Fox Sparks, Flamethrower. Yeah. There are definitely like 3 that I can think of that are like just good because what they do is really unique and they're just amazing. Like Lift Monks are insane. Also, I think I just seen Moxie, like a build creator in the Destiny community, upload a video showcasing like his build. There's also legendary weapons, so like I'm kind of like picking over, you know, things where it's like I want this, but we already have kind of a lot. Like again, I haven't even dipped my toe into like build our legendary farming yet, which I think is kind of not what I think it is. Like I think they still take a long time to reset and shit. So is it? Yeah, probably not exactly like what I'm saying. Like I don't think it's like you farming a boss and you're like, well, bosses take 20 minutes to refarm, so it's not gonna be like what I think, you know. But let's check what loans Nikita's look like. Golly, Lone. Can I show this one? Ooh, I don't think I can show the first one, Lone. The first one is just, it's just that the bikini is looking just too much. Just like too much. All right, unfortunately, well, I could try to do this way. I really need to get another mouse. But yes, this is one of Nikita's. This is one of Lone's Nikita's. Looking great. Did we already look at her? I don't know. Why isn't that showing up? Why? Why have you forsaken me? Come on, show up. Do it. Don't be cringe. It showed up. What do you call it? Yeah, did we already look at this one? I don't know. It looks great. I think we already did. If not, I think that one's wonderful. I think these ones should be fine to show. Oh, it's so loud. Oh, it's fine. You guys don't hear it. My God, what is with the left hip ratio? I feel like her right hip is 50 times bigger than her other hip. Her spine must be just rocked. Otherwise, looks clean as fuck, Lone. Jesus Christ. Back problems extraordinary. Oh my God, more back problems. Okay, this one's awesome. I don't mean to be a creepo, but that's kind of wild. Anyways, also it's hilarious that Lone is getting the snapshots. Is this it? Cute? Wait. I should not put my face in frame. Very cool, deadly woman. with monstrous thighs. I see more than that. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool scene for her. Anyways, is this one okay? Ooh, I don't like any time when I see a female and a anthropomorphic massive animal. That's it? She's just, what's happening? Why is his mouth so open? What is this, Lone? Is she a dog as well? I don't know, she has a little tail. Is she that thing? God, I don't know. Anyways. Alright, well, okay. There's that. And then last, but not maybe, who knows, least. Where's my chat? Not these, Grin. It's not these ones either? It has to be these ones. I think it's just late. I think now it's these ones. I ain't gonna see what she really looks. We'll have to let it loop around again. This one is modest. This one feels like the free character. Oh, my neck. Oh, it's so cute. She like sits on her legs. What's the chibi thing always kills me. What is her main? She got tiny glasses that are impractical as hell. That's it. Okay, she seems modest. That one's nice. That one's not overtly too much. Ah, my neck. What is good? Kill. Sorry, Kill. Kill says finished. SI. Yeah, we're winding down. We're winding down. If that's what you mean, maybe. Raid says I'm still here. Just have the stream on in the background. I'm just some background noise. That's fine. That's good. What do you call it? A finished SI solo leveling. No. Okay, I'm actually happy that someone came here and asked about this. What do you call it? How do you? I'm assuming you've seen it. I've seen that the manga was going. So I basically went back and watched or read the manhwa, or manhwa. It is awesome. But I do think that the beginning of solo leveling in the manga, and I want to know what you think, because I think you may have seen it, the solo leveling thing, the manga or manhwa. I think that the beginning is a little. It's not bad. It's just not as strong as like chapter 60 and onward. Fucking the coolest shit you've ever seen ever. It's so strong. But the beginning, I feel like the beginning doesn't have that moment where like in storytelling, I mentioned this beforehand, so sorry for people who having to hear this twice. Someone popped in who actually has watched the show and I want to talk to them about it. So in storytelling, there's almost like these moments where like maybe it's the main character who like is willing to like suffer such deep pain because they have a family member, and that family member means a lot to them, so they're willing to do that. And you have a family member that I love, or that you love. I have a family member that I love, so we relate to that. So we kind of start subconsciously rooting for that character, like we get invested. And I've seen in other shows where basically that like you're watching this story play out, and they introduce a character, and that character for whatever reason they're able to sell to you to be like, this is awesome. This character is gonna become a god in the future, and somehow the main character knows that, and now he's gonna befriend her. And that's really interesting to see play out. Maybe it's like, oh, the main character is a noble who's really sweet, and he has all this rich big house, all that stuff, but his sister is like a fucking maniac, and it's like taking everything for him to try to survive. All that kind of stuff. But when solo leveling starts, I feel like you're kind of just thrown in. You're thrown into an arc, and the arc is actually pretty interesting. Like the arc of him like surviving this horrible traumatic thing, really neat. But it doesn't do like as good as I've seen in other manhwa that have come after it, about like unraveling this world, about like the hunters and like here's the main character and here's why you should root for him and all these things, So that's my only takeaways. I think solo leveling has a weaker start, but holy shit, as soon as you get to like the 60th chapter, you're fucking gone. You're gone, boy. I've binged it in like 2 days, essentially. Kill says, you're not wrong. It's just building. It's a building story to get emotional and live with every. Yeah. Well, yeah. Again, to me, I do feel like you need that hook, and I feel like as soon as he gets, I don't want to spoil it for too many people, but he gets a class, let's say, or a job is what they call it, I think, in the show or in the manga. he gets a job, and that job makes everything like you're locked in. You're like immediately, you're like, I'm in. Beforehand, I was enjoying the experience. It's kind of good. Parts of me are kind of like, okay, I don't know, this is taking a long time. Okay, and then bang, and then now you're in. I actually want to ask you, Kill. I mentioned it prior, but there's so many manga that I've seen that I think have come up before Solo Leveling, who, to me, in my opinion, I've heard people say that like Solo Leveling is the best, and I think it's amazing. It's so good, and I understand why people say it's so good. But I do think that the shows that are some of my favorite manga now understood why it was so good, and in my opinion, transcended it. Meaning it not maybe transcending is the wrong word because I don't think they're so much better than Solo Leveling, but I think they're goddamn comparable. Like, I'm not sure if you've seen this manga. It's actually very similar to Solo Leveling, where it has a very weak start. Like, one of the weakest starts I've ever seen to any manga, but holy shit, is it like my favorite manga of all time. Have you seen Kill? Have you seen SSS? What is it? SSS Suicide Hunter, I think is what it's called. By far my favorite manhwa. I love manhwa, by the way. I'm deep in reading in a lot of them. But yeah, dude, SS rank Suicide Hunter to me is goated. It's so fucking good. It's like, it's by far, so you watched it? It's so good, isn't it? It's so fucking awesome, dude. Oh my god. And I love how they get to the point where my favorite arc is when he starts, it's kind of like the weird Japanese, they have a name for it, but it's like hyper edgy Ronin samurai. Here's my death dragon slayer monster demon killing technique. It's a lot, but holy shit do I love it. Like, the show is so good about like, and it also, it talks, I think the whole premise of the show is talking about the duality of like death and life and all that shit. I love it so much. Yeah, when he falls in love, oh dude, I haven't seen the next push, so I've only seen up to the point where he gets to the what is it called? I finished that one arc where he basically starts to leave the, he like starves himself a ton, he goes through that whole pain, and then he's done. He like finishes. That's where I'm at. That's where I stopped. So yeah, man. You know what's another one that I love to bits? I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it's called, oh, I always forget the name of it. I'll look it up just for you because I think it's also really, really good, and I don't think it gets enough love. Let me go back to my stupid full face cam. I don't get to talk manhwa so often, so I'm kind of like, forgive me. Where is it? Is it this? Continue reading. It's in my continue reading chapter thing. Which one is it? Not that one, I don't think. Not that one. Is it this one? Is it this one? Damn it! Why do you... I think that's it. The youngest son. I think that's right. It's such a good one, but it's like the youngest son of the Marquis family or something. God damn it! I don't want to do that. Come on, baby, where are you? I don't think that's right. It's basically like this main guy. No, that's not right either. Golly, maybe you know the premise of it. It's basically it's this manhwa about it's basically like if King Joffrey, if someone who wrote a story about King Joffrey got thrown into the world and was King Joffrey essentially. That's a lot, but yes. I can't find it. I always keep it. I just don't know where I put it recently. There it is. That's what it's called. The youngest son of the renowned magic clan. That's what it's called. You should watch that shit, my man. That is by far, like, to me, it is one of the most underrated manga ever. It is so fucking good. The reason why I think it's so good, though, is because it is, first of all, I should just preface this by saying it's a story about a very slow burn. So, like, the premise of the story is basically, I'll copy it in chat and throw it in the thing. Actually, I'll just show you this screen, if that will work. Let's see. Will that work? Nope, wrong goddamn thing. Will this work? Let's see. Nope, that's all broken. All right, new game plan. I'll just type it up. Where's my gosh darn thing? If I go here, so you guys aren't looking at weird stuff. There we go. All right, I'll jump over to our Twitch and slap that in there. Twitch. There. Good stuff. What's good, Rasta? Talk about manhwa. Anyways, what do you call it? The premise of this one, which I love. Actually, I'm gonna post a bunch if you'll humor me, because this one to me is also up there for SS Rank Hunter. But the premise is author makes book, author gets put into book, he gets put into a character that he made like as a bastard, like just a real evil, shitty kid basically, who's like lashes out, and he's basically a part of this like ultra amazing mage clan family, and there's also like an amazing swordsman clan in this world too, but he's at the bottom of the barrel. So he sucks. Like everyone hates him. They know he's like a fucking vindictive evil kid, and he's now like born into him. And he's like, fuck, like everyone hates me. I get it. I know. So then he ends up having to go through, because he knows like, oh, the hero of my story eventually goes over here and gets this like egg that helps him. Let's go grab that egg before the hero can get it, and I'll take it. But then he'll do stuff that's really fun, where like he knows he wrote in his book that like the hero is the strongest kid in all the world. So subconsciously he ends up making himself stronger because he's a kid, just because he knows stuff about the world. But then he ends up making the hero much stronger. And one of my favorite lines from like the last couple chapters, is not too much of a spoiler, is a person is describing the main character, and to me it's like my favorite thing of describing when someone describes something. But they basically mention how he is just the right amount of selfish, just the right amount of cruel, and just the right amount of cunning. And to me, I love that sentiment of like, it's not about being ultra virtuous, it's not about being evil and manipulative, it's about being enough of both of those things that you can survive and even thrive. And that's what makes you a solid human being that can like endure, you know. And then there's just a bunch of manga that I love that are like feel-good ones, man. I'm not sure what you really dig with, but what do you call it? The one that I really enjoy recently, as much as I love these like high-stakes, you know, methodical kind of manga, the ones I also fuck with a lot are ones that are really like soft. They're like, I'm not sure if you've seen like these other two, which are really just fun. Development kind of ones, very similar to Harry Potter. There's this manga called it's like just so I'm gonna throw two in there, ladies and gentlemen, and then we have to stop. We will be streaming at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So the second stream today is going to be at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Hopefully, if I can keep things up, it'll be about the Justice League or the Suicide Squad, just so we can kind of push further into that. But yes, yeah, if you absolutely give me one to read after Solo Love, like, did you read? Let me see. Ever since the I'm not sure if you've seen it, but there's like a big manhwa boom on YouTube. I have read so much because they put me onto it, and now I'm just locked in, you know. But let me type this in. What is it called? If you don't, let me see. Did you read Omniscient Reader View? I have not. Let me see. I'm trying to find what it is, if I wrote it in right. I have not. What is this? Huh. Okay. I see you. All right. What is it about? I don't think my normal manhwa site has it. Oh, it does. No, it does. Okay, I have a couple more I'm going to throw your way as well. I'm not sure if these ones are more like, if you're sick and tired of seeing manga that are so, like, over 9,000, excessive. Also, I look so gross from the side profile. Anyways, let me open these. Where are these other ones that I wanted to give you guys? If anyone who's interested in manhwa, these ones I think are goated. Very good. Worth a damn. If I can find them. This one's goated. This one's good too. I don't know what that one is. That one's amazing. Where's this fun? Oh, it's like this fun magic one. It's like the funnest magic goddamn story. I can't find it. There it is. This one. Okay, these are the ones that I. Oh goddamn! Why you do this to me? I'm trying to find iron. Nope. Buttons are hard. Iron Ironhound, there we go. The Bloodhound one, that one's a new one, but that one's also amazing. It's very fun. Come on, show me. There it is. All right, I'm going. So the first two are basically normal. They're just classic manhwa. They're amazing, badass. I should not know. Wait. I need to not. No, do not pin that. Do not pin. Unpin. Man, I really wish I could delete that message. I do not want to. Yeah. How do I delete this? I cannot delete my own message. Very cringe. Why? Well, fuck it. Well, did not want to post a link. I think it's fine. I don't know what the real... Yeah, what that's supposed to be. Anyways, this one is the one that I think you guys should read. That if you're not really into like the hyper crazy manhwa, these ones are like really sweet and fun and like engaging still. Sorry, I really, again, we're really just throwing a bunch of manhwa everywhere. Forgive me. Lots of buffering today. Is everyone experiencing buffering or is it just red? Hopefully it's just red. Hopefully not everyone. Check the story of it. I definitely check them. Did you read the story one I gave you? Oh no, I have it bookmarked. I'll bookmark and check it out. If you come by again on the stream, I'll tell you about it. Maybe not. I gotta get through solo leveling, so maybe it'll take me a week to do that. But then next, I'll check that other one out. It's on the list. As you added mine to the list, we both know that list is too damn long, and we are doing our best to chip away at it. The Iron Blood. Yeah, the Iron Blood Hammer. That was one. I don't really watch new manhwa, but man, that one's also damn good. That one, I wonder. I'm not sure how caught up you are, but I wonder what they're gonna do with the like. Ever since they've introduced the daughter of the guy, or not the daughter, the granddaughter of the big guy. I wonder so badly how that's gonna fall out. Like, I wonder. I hope there's a line in that story about. I wonder what will win, his hatred for the tribe people or his love for his daughter, because I feel like that's where that girl kind of resides. Which one has more hatred or which one has more love? And I can't wait to see how that one comes out. A skill says 100 logged in future. Yeah. Oh wait. Oh no. This is the manhwa. 100 logging in future. Ooh, okay. I did see one that was like, I've been chopping trees for 1,000 years or something like that. I don't know, man. Again, it's weird. I'm not sure if you notice it, Kill, but I noticed that there's a massive disparity between Chinese manhwa or something like that, or manhwa. Basically, I think there's a difference between Japanese manga and manhwa, or Asia manhwa versus the other. Because it just feels like the Chinese manhwa that I read seem very like, it just seems like the whole premise is different. Like the way they execute the story feels very different. Like, it's weird. I'm used to like a certain pacing, and I feel like they have this different feel to them. I don't know how to write. Oh, okay, I got you. It's same. I feel. I don't know. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll Google and check it out. But ladies and gentlemen, we've been streaming for a little bit of time, and we got to stream again later tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully, I can see you again tonight. We'll be playing Suicide Squad and trying to progress a little bit in that. Hopefully, I can see you again, Kill. I don't really get to talk about manhwa too much, but thank you so much. Sometimes Chinese are interesting. Yeah. I just find sometimes it's. Again, it sucks because so much of the Chinese manhwa that I found are like 1,000 chapters. And I'm like, duh! And I start reading them and I'm like, it's kind of a lot. Like, it's scattered in a weird way sometimes, and the pacing and the way that they deliver it is a little different. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully I can see you again. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. This is Leo and Timid. It's just having background. Oh, I gotta sneeze. But ladies and gentlemen, hope I can see you later tonight. We'll be streaming at 7. If you guys want a reference for that, we are currently streaming right now at 3 p.m. So a couple hours from now until 7 happens, we'll be streaming again. Hope I can see you then. And goodbye, bye, friends. Oh, I got an air bubble in my chest as soon as we're even ending. Before I end the stream, I definitely got to copy that name. Oh no, I haven't pulled up. Okay, we're good.